Every Today we're going to talk about ethical issues and social responsibility. We're gonna explore how ethics operate at different levels, starting from starting with individuals, then moving to organizations, industries, and finally society as a whole. By understanding these levels, we can see how um, better decision making can contribute to a better uh, world. So let's start with individual ethics. This is about the personal values and principles that guide our behavior. It's the foundation of ethical decision making, and our values influence the choices that we make, whether at work or in our personal lives. So it's very important to think about what values guide us, um, and how they shape what we do, our actions. Um, so here we have some examples of individual ethics in action. Um, an employee might so we have like software engineers or an accountant or a sales representative, right? An employee might report unethical behavior or refuse to take a bribe. A software engineer might choose not to um, use deceptive design practices when writing his code, or an accountant might blow the whistle on financial fraud. These are all examples of people making ethical decisions based on their personal values when it's difficult. Next is we move to organizational ethics. This is about the values and norms that guide how a company or organization operates. Organizations often have codes of conduct, like an employee um, handbook, uh, and like policies as well to ensure ethical behavior. When an organization prioritizes ethics, it creates a culture where doing the right thing is expected and supported at the uh, place at the workplace. Um, and then let's take a look at some examples of that, of organizations that prioritize ethics. Patagonia, for example, is known for its commitment to environmental sustainability. They talk about the fabrics they use, um, that are friendly with the environment, the how much they reuse some resources. Um, we also have an example of Starbucks, which offers like strong employee benefits, um, showing that they care about their workforce. For example, I know that they do like uh, they cover tuition for a lot of their employees that meet certain criteria. That's one of the examples that I know at least. And then Unilever, this company has a sustainable living plan to reduce its environmental impact. I know that Apple is on the same track as well. They have a goal of minimizing their carbon uh, footprint by 20 something. But so these companies demonstrate that ethical practices can benefit both society and also their organization. Third level industry ethics. So now let's talk about industry ethics. This is about the standards and practices that guide entire industries. So these standards help ensure fair competition among different companies in the same industry and build trust within the industry. So they're often developed through industry associations and regulations as well. So to give you some examples, if we take a look at the pharmaceutical industry, there are very strict regulations for clinical trials to ensure that they are ethical. Also, the advertising industry has self-regulation standards to prevent misleading ads as well. And in the technology sector, there are frameworks to protect data privacy, as well as regulations set by or put in place by governments about the data privacy, and where data is stored and how data is shared. These examples show how industries work to maintain ethical standards. And then last but not least, we have ethics in society. This is about ethical principles that guide society as a whole. It includes values like human rights, environmental sustainability, and economic justice. So these principles are often addressed through laws, policies, and social movements as well. So let's take a look at some examples of ethics in society in action. So governments are implementing carbon taxes to combat climate change. NGOs advocate for fair trade and human rights. International agreements like the UN Sustainable Development Goals provide a framework for global progress. And then we have a bunch of treaties between different governments and countries to help the environment, and so these efforts show how ethical principles can guide society toward a better place. And these are the four levels of ethics and different scenarios in our lives.